the heartbeat of creation itself. Now her children return, calling her name again. Say Alkebulan, Alkebulan, the mother of life, the mother of life, where the sun first shines, where the sun first shines. Rise again, Alkebulan, rise again, Alkebulan. Hey! Oh, Alkebulan, Alkebulan, Alkebulan. Home, your children are calling, we're coming home. Oh, Alkebulan, the world must know you gave birth to the light, let your glory show. They changed your name to hide your fame. They broke the chains but kept the game. Divided your children with borders and lies, but truth never dies, it only multiplies. We are the sons and daughters of your soil, still rising strong from the years of toil. They took our name, but not our soul. Alkebulan still makes the broken whole. Say Alkebulan, Alkebulan, the mother of life, the mother of life, where the sun first shines, where the sun first shines. Rise again, Alkebulan, rise again, Alkebulan. Oh, Alkebulan, cradle divine, mother of kings, the first bloodline. Oh, Alkebulan, spirit of grace, we're reclaiming your name, we're finding our place. No longer shall we live in shame, forgetting our truth, our holy name. From the Nile to the ocean wide, your story flows, it cannot hide. From Kush to Kemet, glory untold, black and beautiful, strong and bold. They took our gold, they took our flame, but Alkebulan lives beyond the pain. They called you Africa, but you were more. You are the doorway the world was born through. The spirit of time, the rhythm of life. Alkebulan, our home, our right. Alkebulan, Alkebulan, the mother of life, the mother of man. Oh, Alkebulan, the mother of life, the mother of man. Say Alkebulan, the mother of life, the mother of we are your children, forever united. Rise again, Alkebulan, rise again, Alkebulan. Alkebulan, ancient and wide, your glory is written across the sky. Oh, Alkebulan, we call your name, the world shall know your truth again.
Greetings, 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 everybody. I hope you enjoyed that music, that intro. I loved it. Please share your thoughts. What do you think? Okay, sorry for the delay. It looks like we've lost our guest again. Anyway, welcome, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another Alkebulan Awakening series in collaboration with my sister in Kumbukeni. My name, as always, is Oladile. I'm the founder of the Emerging Alkebulan. You know what we're about. We're about decolonizing your minds and awakening your consciousness. And we know, as me and my sister have been discussing this, too many of us are not ready for the revolution yet. Too many of us are just not ready. We're not awakened enough yet. There's basically there's a house on fire in Africa. Things are happening, and most of us are looking for a mollycoddling soft landing, whereas our enemies, they take no prisoners. Anyway, Unduku.
Habari gani, karibuni, asanteni kwa kuwa nasi. How are you? Welcome and thank you for being with us. The name is Nduko. That was nice. We started with a party. We started with a right, like it put us in a mood.
Yep.
Right? I like that. So that, and maybe we should end with it so that it can cleanse our spirits after we finish with the like tense conversations that we have. But I'm the host on Kumbukeni. Looking forward to this conversation once our guest gets back in. And thank you all for being patient.
Thanks, guys. While we're dealing with that, the topic we're going to be talking about today is breaking the matrix. Okay, he's back, and I just bring him back up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we introduce the topic, I'll let my guest introduce himself. Pelumi, can you please introduce yourself to the global audience, please?
All right, my name is Oluwambe Pelumi. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a writer, and I'm a global I'm a husband and a father. And I love Africa. I love Alkebulan. I love people that look like me, and I am on to restoring our ancestral memory because a lot has been done, and quite unfortunate, we have walked away from the treasure our ancestors left behind. So, because we want to align with the present matrix. So my assignment, my purpose is to remind the people that, hey, there is a place called home, and that home is buried in our spirituality. And if we understand the true meaning of our spirituality, not what they told us about our spirituality, if we come to the source and we understand what it means to be spiritual in African context, then our life will become better, our politics will become better, and everything about us will become, better. So that is my own life assignment. So again, my name is Pelumi Folarin, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Pelumi. So the topic today, guys, is breaking the matrix. I talk about this all the time. For those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, we're talking about breaking the matrix. We're in a matrix that's basically built for us not to fit into. Breaking the matrix, the truth about Africa's freedom. Okay, Pelumi, let's start with the topic, please.
All right, so the topic today is breaking the matrix. And, I've been talking about breaking the matrix for months now. And, my last video on breaking the matrix is the 73rd video episode of breaking the matrix. So I am so much interested in this because it is a reality we need to confront. So breaking the matrix, the illusion of the world and the path to true freedom. That is what I'm talking about today. And, when we talk about breaking the matrix, we are not talking about science fiction film. We are speaking of a philosophical, religious, and the political matrix that we've been kept inside. We are not realizing it because we can speak good English, because we are now professors, because we are now doing well business-wise, so we think everything is fine. However, we are living within a structure that has been created, a limitation. That is why if a black man becomes the president of America, we celebrate. Why should we celebrate? And of course, what is the meaning of black man? There is no black man on earth, and there is no white man on earth. So, and I just started last week my new book, and the title is Who Called You Black? Who named you black? Where is that from? And why should I? So until we understand the reason why the name was coined, that black was coined, until we'll understand it, that is when we'll be able to be free from whatever, shame, whatever matrix that was designed along with it. So firstly, I'm talking about philosophical matrix, and that is the cage of perception. To climb a tree, we cannot climb the tree from the top. We have to climb it from down. And yes, we have bishops, very brilliant individuals. They are well aware of the world politics. They can talk about anything. However, because they are professors who believe they are liberated, however, those are titles, and those are titles coined out to compensate some of us. I cited this example last week to, yeah, I think my wife. And I told her that no matter who you are, if you're a black professor and there is a white student, a new student in your class, the structure, the matrix, the way the matrix is designed, and the reality of the whole thing is that that white student is far more valuable than that professor of, say, 30 years, as that professor is black. So we need to deal with what is black? Who am I? What is this matrix? And we need to really confront it and set ourselves free. And setting ourselves free is not about reading too many news, because even the media is compromised. The media is designed to propagate and to further program the people to think in a certain way. So you see our people, they come up and they talk about news incidents, things happening everywhere in the world, and we say, whoa, this one is brilliant. But check that person. There is somewhere, well, I'm a babalawo. Let me start from there, because I was invited to speak here because I'm a babalawo. Who is a babalawo? There are two words involved, 2 to 3 words involved there. There is baba. I'm sure my sister understands what baba is. Baba, a father. And then awo means secrets. Secret. So a babalawo therefore means father of secrets. And what do? We help people demystify their problems. Because in Ifa, how does a babalawo operate? A babalawo operates under the jurisdiction of Ifa. He is a custodian of Ifa knowledge. And what is Ifa? Ifa is the esoteric words from Olodumare. Who is Olodumare? Olodumare is the ones that the rest of the world call God. But to us, it's not God, it's Olodumare. And that reminds me, about a week ago, I was talking about Shango, and somebody said, yes, that is Thor. I said, no, Shango is Shango, Thor is Thor. Because the Shango that we have here has 4 wives. How many wives did Thor marry? We have Shango shrine where we pop, all kind of things.
Yeah.
Is there a Thor? Is there a shrine that people, appease Thor? Is there a shrine that people offer offerings to Thor? No. So they called their own, they created a fictional character called Thor, just to appease to our logical mind that, oh, after all, we are all the same thing. You have Shango, we have Thor, we are the same thing. We are not the same thing. We are so unique. We are the descendants of kings and goddesses. Our mothers are goddesses. So we love them and we treasure them. We treasure them so much that in our own fundamental vocabulary, we don't know what feminism is about. Because we have a goddess that is called Oya. Oya is a female and is the energy in the wind. Then that means without Oya, I won't be able to breathe. And there are devotees of Oya. We have Oshun. Oshun is the energy of fertility. If you want to have children, if you want to have fruit of the womb, you just go to Oshun. That is the energy. That is the gift that you get from Oshun. Oshun again is our symbol of beauty. So now we have all that. We have Iyemoja. That is the queen of the river. So that is the Orisha. Orisha again is different from God or goddess. Orisha has such a depth that no English words can really tell us what it is. However, for the lack of right words, we will deploy the word goddess or God. So we have Ogun. That is the energy of engineering, technology. So we have Obatala. That is the energy of purity. So we have Orumila. That is the energy of wisdom, of discretion, of vision. So we have over 400 of this energy right here. And then I call Mr. Oladile, who is my Egbon. I call him Egbon. We can speak the same language. He's my Egbon. However, we are not the same in the view, in the prism of Ifa. We are all different because according to Ifa, there are 256 signatures. And from Ejiogbe, the first of the signature, binary signatures, to Ofuse, the last, the 256. Now, what is it about these signatures? These signatures are the embodiment of the mystery of the world. Regardless of who you are, regardless of your color or race, as long as you come to Ifa will tell you what you are going through and how you can overcome whatever the struggle is. Now, these guys came, our ancestors, because many people think that, oh yeah, our ancestors were not that brilliant, they were not that, oh no, your ancestors fought. You know, my sister, when I saw Egbon here, I greeted him in Yoruba. That was because our ancestors fought to sustain the language. Permit me to quickly read this, please.
Yeah, yeah. Go for it.
This is actually a conversation between two powerful European military officers. And let me start here. One says, that is Officer Roberts, says, half of the trouble is the stupidity of the white men, said Roberts, pausing to take a swig from his glass. If the white man, he continues, if the white man would lay himself out a bit to understand the workings of the black man's mind, most of the messes would be avoided. Oh, so the argument runs to and fro, and then Captain Woodworth breaks in with a vehement sentence that sums up the conviction of multitudes beside himself. Don't talk to me about understanding the nigger. The white man's mission is to farm the world, and it's big enough job to cut out for him. What time has he got left to understand niggers anyway? There is one thing sure, the white man has to run the niggers wherever, whether he understands them or not. It is inevitable. It is fate. Sorry, my sight. It is fate. That is, they are saying it is the fate of the black man and the black land to be farmed by the whites. And of course, the white man is inevitable. It is the nigger's fate. Robert broke in. Tell the white man there is pearl shell in some lagoon infested by 10,000 howling cannibals, and he will held there all by his lonely with half a dozen canopies, all packed like sardines on a commodious 5-stone ketch. Whisper that there is a gold strike at the North Pole, and that same inevitable white skin creature we set out at once, armed with pick and shovel, a side of bacon, and the latest patent rocker. And what's more, he will get there, tip off to him that there is diamond on the red hot rampart of hell, and the white man will storm the rampart and set old Satan himself to pack and shovel work. But I wonder what the black man must think of the inevitable. And then the conclusion of everything is that the black man never understands the white, and the white the black. The white man mission is to farm the world. That is how they see us. We are their farmers, and our land is their farm ground. So, and they have been doing that. And that takes me to something that was said by Francis I, of France in the 16th century. And Francis says, this, he said, was like actually a protest against what Pope was doing. The Pope of then already gave the entire Africa, shared it between Spain and Portugal. And then Francis I says, the sun shines for me as for others. The sun shines on me as for others. I should very much like to see the clause in Adam's will that excluded me from a share of the world. They believe that we belong to them. We are not human to them, we are properties to them. And we need to come to that point. This is how these guys are seeing us. And then how do we want to see ourselves going forward? And then back to my topic. So the philosophical matrix was really carefully designed to make our people feel that, yeah, we are living. After all, we can quote Socrates now. Then we know what Aristotle say now. So we know the politics of America. So we are educated, not knowing that the kind of education that they gave to us in Africa is not actually education. It's called indoctrination. So because we are not allowed to think outside the box, and that should worry us. And I was telling my Egmo yesterday about this particular professor. The professor is an Indian, but he lives in New York now, Professor Magawadi. And I used to be in love with him when I was a Christian. And then recently I heard this man, and as I was talking, I was irritated. Oh no, you cannot think right if your worldview is designed and limited by what you read in the Bible. Because that book was not written for us. That institution called the church was not designed for us to be liberated. Both the church, imperialism, they were husbands and wives, designed to control our people. I respect every Christian listening to me. I was a Christian and my dad is still a Christian. So I have no hard feelings against you guys, but we have to, the truth is the truth. And if we truly want to be liberated, sorry, the solution is not in Christ. Because that Christ that is coming.
Pelumi, please do not be apologetic. Just say it as it is. We say it is. Don't be unapologetic. Say it. Don't apologize.
All right. So I'm okay. So that Christ is not number one. That Christ that was given to us. The argument is not whether the Christ is black or white. That is none of my business now. The point is the concept of the church that was imposed on Africans was anti-freedom. That was introduced to take everything we have away from us. Now, there is a symbol. I'm sure we all know the symbol. It is called Ankh. And that actually represents fertility. It represents life. However, the people that intend to farm our continent and farm our destiny, just as they are doing, because the best amongst us they are over there. Doctors, for instance, Nigeria, as a case study, doctors are leaving this place in drones. They are leaving for greener pasture outside, deliberately designed to be so. For instance, the University of Ibadan, the premier university of here in Nigeria, in the 60s, engineering was not introduced to them when they started the university college, as they called it back then. Engineering was not introduced because the structure understands that immediately you introduce engineering to a people, then they will start questioning things. They will start thinking outside the box. So they delayed on that. However, they gave them medicine, they gave them law. And guess what kind of law they gave them? European law, the British law. So our people traveled down to, Britain to study law, and they came back here because now they've been taught, they've been conditioned to think in a certain way. And then their loyalty is not with their people. The loyalty is was with the institution that trained them. So they came back here with their ego now, and their assignments, according to the structure that designed them, according to the structure that formed them, was to dismantle everything that is still making Africans to be African, like our food. Back in the days, I'm glad there was an interview between Egmont and Professor Dr. Patrick. And Dr. Patrick was saying that years ago, there was nothing like diabetes here. There was nothing like high blood pressure here. Those things are alien to us. However, they trained our people, conditioned them to see life in a certain way, and they made them so, engage in an oath that this system that is being given to them must be sustained. and they are really, they are carefully sustaining everything. So when I see the way things are in Africa and people are complaining, political analysts are talking, I just look at them and I smile. That our spirituality is our life. Our spirituality is everything about us. For instance, Egmon's surname is Dosumu. What is the meaning of Dosumu? Dosumu is from some of the people that were birthed with one of those 256 binary signature of Ifa. And that particular one is called Oberosun. And then Di Osumu, Osun, is a staff that Babalawos usually hold when they are going for a mission. So whoever is holding that staff is actually a Babalawo. And that points us to the reality about the ancestral of Egmont, that when I use Egmont, I'm talking about Mr. Oladele Dosumu. So to our listeners. So now, that name Dosumu is pointing to the ancestral inheritance of Mr. Oladele, that they are Ifa priests. They are the custodians of the ancient knowledge of Ifa. That is the meaning of Di Osumu, because whoever is holding that staff is considered to be a Babalawo, father of secrets. So now, that enough is an inheritance. And Egmont doesn't need to really argue about, okay, what is my family inheritance? What is the spiritual bedrock? I've mentioned Oshu, I've mentioned Oya, I've mentioned Iyemoja. Of course, those energy could be present in him. However, the major family inheritance that he can never disclaim is Ifa, because of the name Di Osumu. So they destroyed everything, but because our ancestors are fighters, they couldn't destroy that consciousness, our naming system, because our ancestors felt, okay, we cannot catch up with these people. These people are being destructive, but let's hide our code in the names we are giving our children. So Dosumu is extremely meaningful. Now, let me go back to that, the philosophical matrix, the matrix of perception. Philosophy has long warned that the greatest prison is the one built in the mind. And that is where our people are caged. Now, there is a way Nigerians are perceived, and that was deliberately designed. So when I tell you, the other time that I was in Kenya, I discovered that 2 Kenya cops were running after me, and I looked back, what's going on? And I was told that, and the immigration officer told me, smiled to me and said, please come. And she said, they are running, they are trying to catch up with you because of the passport you are holding. That is the philosophical matrix that has been created against Nigerians, as though all of them are fraudsters. But we are not all fraudsters. You all know that Nigerians, we are not all fraudsters. Those ones are just pockets of, Nigerians, and there are criminals everywhere. So they have to create a philosophical perception of a people, so you can think in a certain way towards yourself. For instance, a people that came from, those that are from Ondo State here, they say things like, oh yeah, I'm an Ondo person. So no, that is how you've been designed to think. You think Ondo people are they are easily moved to anger. That is not the truth. That is the programming. So it is now our own duty to start interrogating all this matrix that has been set up against us. Now, the philosophical matrix is this prison, the illusion of certainty, where people live by ideas that they never examine. They just live by it. Oh yes, yes, I'm a Christian. I'm going to make heaven. Who told you that? Bible says so. Bible says so, that the youngest shall be that out of the ones that has, what he has will be taken away, and it will be given to the ones that has many. The one that has nothing, out of that nothingness, it will be taken and give to the wealthy. No wonder the bishops are getting richer and the pastors are getting wealthier, because out of those that are poor, whatever they have will be taken away from them. And these are philosophical matrix, and our people, they intentionally feel that, oh no, we cannot question God. That is how it is, and we can't touch it. So School teach memory, not wisdom. I remember trying to defend my project, and then I read beyond what I was taught. And when I was talking about, when I was defending the project, the lecturer asked me, "Who taught you that?" I said, "I researched." And the lecturer said, "Get out of this place.
Wow.
Get out of this place." So, because you are designed, you are programmed to think in a certain way. And because I don't know what was going on in the lecturer, yeah, maybe he felt intimidated. I don't know. But that is the school system that we have here. We don't have education in Africa. What we have is indoctrination.
Yep.
You are being taught to think in a certain way, so you cannot even question anything. After COVID, something happened to the consciousness of the world. All of a sudden, no answer is wrong and no answer is right. Just give your opinion. However, in Africa, it's not the same. There are right questions, and this is the way you must answer. If somebody dies in your family, don't question God and don't do the autopsy. Just go and bury the person. So, you have to, and the Bible, teaches too that you have to pray for those people in power. Even they are killing you, even they are taking from you, even they've used your commonwealth they've saved your own commonwealth for their 50,000 generations. They can never become poor. Oh, you keep praying for them. Keep praying for them. Oh, blessed are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of God. So if you are poor, it's okay. Oh, just pray to make the kingdom of God. So these are philosophical metrics that were, enveloped in theology that has been imposed on our people. And our people, unfortunately, choose not to question because they've been told that, oh, no, don't question God. And of course, the God in the Bible that they told you not to question is actually unstable when we talk about emotion. Because it's the same God that created a garden. And you created a garden and you told the people that never knew what is called sin, that the day you eat from this thing, no even warning, the day you eat from this thing, you will die. Those people don't even know the meaning of death. And you as a father, who amongst us, we place poison inside the refrigerator and tell your children that, oh, there is poison inside that fridge. Don't go there. No father will do that. But the biblical God created a garden and planted destruction in the middle of that garden. Okay, let's even leave that. What about a people that were recognized in the book as the firstborn of God? They are the most beloved of God, and they can never go wrong. Those are the Jewish people. They can't go wrong. However, the rest of you are condemned, and death is you. And they were able to propagate that by taking our treasure, our hand, the symbol of our fertility, the symbol of our spirituality, the symbol of motherhood, the symbol of creation, the symbol of procreation, our hand, the symbol of life, and they turn into symbol of death, and they created a cross. And our people go about with that symbol of death every time, not knowing, not interrogating that what is the source of this symbol of death. And if they know that what their ancestors actually designed for them is life, womb of life, the ant that symbolizes on the top of it the womb of the universe, treasuring our mothers, immortalizing our mothers and recognizing the impact of motherhood, and then the man, the vertical line, and then the children, and they turn that to Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. They removed mothers, they removed women, they removed female from life. And that is why, oh yes, that is ant. That is the symbol of life.
Yeah, that's it.
That is our inheritance. That was not created by religion. It was created by spiritual understanding. It was created by people that understand how nature functions. We understand the secret of nature. And that is why somebody is having problem business-wise. As a Babalawo, we go into the jungle and we pluck on the leaves and we mix the leaves with another soap that is made from life. We call it Oshedudu, made from life. And we mix those leaves with that soap. You go and be bathing with it. Your way will open. Your doors will open. Nobody can intimidate you. That is because all we understand is life. We don't even know what death is because everything around us is life. We are surrounded by life here. This place that I'm living in is life. House carries life. The road I walked on is life. The marketplace I go to is life. It's just because I'm constrained by time. That is why I can't be reciting some of the old Ifa that validates all that I'm talking about.
Give us, give us,
However,
give us a few. Just I want to hear some. Give me some. Give us some, man. Just share one or two.
okay, this is a long one, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my sister. I won't be able to interpret this in English. Now,
Please do not be sorry about. Do not be sorry. Go
Yeah.
on.
it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Now, Ejiobe, the first of all the 256 signatures says, Erin jẹjẹjẹ, Erin is an elephant. Erin jẹjẹjẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ò fọwọ́ kó asá. Ẹfọ̀n jẹjẹjẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ò tẹ̀sẹ̀ bọ́pọ̀ lọ. Ẹyẹ kéré 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 kò lókè bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọn forí gbági. Adífá ń fún riri ìgbà tí ń fomi ojú ṣògbére ọmọ. Ẹbọ lawó ni ó ṣe. Riri ló bí ọ̀nà, that is the road. Riri ló bí ọjà. Ilé nìkan ní ìṣọmọ ìkẹyìn wọn léńje léńje. Riri wá múra ó lọ sẹ́yìn ó di. Ìgbà tí ó darí dé ó darí sọ̀nà. Ọ̀nà sákì, ọ̀nà yọ̀kí, ọ̀nà ti múlé pọtí, ó ti mọ́nà rókà. Ó fi gbogbo agbádá díran. Riri ní ìwọ ọ̀nà ọmọ mi mọ̀ tí múlé pọtí, mọ̀ tí mọ́nà rókà. Máì tí fi gbogbo agbádá díran. Àrùn kan ṣe òun, ọ̀nà ní àìsàn, àrùn kí ní ṣe ọ́ tóun ò nílé wo. Riri ní àìsàn ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ ní, ó lóun fẹ́ ṣu ni. Ọ̀nà ní níbo ló aṣu sí báyìí. Gbogbo èrò oko, gbogbo èrò odò, gbogbo èrò àlọ́, gbogbo èrò àbọ̀ tó ń gba ọ̀dọ̀ ń kọjá. Ó yá máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ ọjà tí ń ṣe àbúrò òun. Ìgbà tí Riri dọ́jà, ọjà sákì, ó yọ̀kí, ó múlé pọtí, ó mọ́nà rókà, ó fi gbogbo agbádá díran. Riri ní ìwọ ọjà, ọmọ mi máì tí múlé pọtí, máì tí mọ́nà rókà, máì tí fi gbogbo agbádá díran. Ó ní àìsàn kan ṣe òun, ọjà ní àìsàn kí ní ṣe ọ́ tóun ò nílé wo. Riri ní àìsàn ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ ní, ó lóun fẹ́ ṣu ni. Ọjà ní níbo ló aṣu sí báyìí, igbá elépo, igbá aláta, igbá onírú, igbá oníyọ̀. Ó yá máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ ilé tí ń ṣe àbúrò òun. Ìgbà tí Riri délé, ilé sákì, ilé yọ̀kí, ilé náà ti múlé pọtí, ó mọ́nà rókà, ó fi gbogbo agbádá díran. Riri ní ìwọ ilé ọmọ mi mọ̀ tí múlé pọtí, mọ̀ tí mọ́nà rókà, máì tí fi gbogbo agbádá díran. Ó ní àìsàn kan ṣe òun, ilé ní àìsàn kí ní ṣe ọ́ tóun ò nílé wo. Riri ní àìsàn ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ ní, ó lóun fẹ́ ṣu ni. Ilé ní àtikítú ni, ó ní ṣe bóun lòun ní káà, òun lòun ní sàrè, òun lòun ní tàgé. Ní Riri wá ságírí wọnú káà, wíwọ̀ tó wọ káà, ó su òwúrọ̀ ajé sínú ilé. Wíwọ̀ tó wọ sàrè, ó su àkóǹkó tán ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ ṣẹ̀gí. Wíwọ̀ tó wọ tàgé, ó su àkóǹkó tán ohun ọrọ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́. Ohun rere wá kúnnú ilé ní pitipiti. Ijó ní ń jó, ayọ̀ ní ń yọ̀. Ó yan àwọn awo rẹ̀ ń ṣẹnu rere ń kífá, ẹsẹ̀ tó nà, ijó fà á. Ó ní ilé ni yòówù aya, ilé ni yòówù ọmọ, ènìyàn kì í ṣe fújà láì nílé. Ilé ni yòówù ọmọ, ilé ni yòówù aya. And the Ifa goes on and on and on, telling us that the marketplace, the road you ply on, and where you live, they are all spiritual entities. So we need to live with this understanding. And if our people disconnect themselves from this Judeo-Christian philosophy of making them focus on heaven when they have a place to live, their ancestors. You see, let me use myself as a case study. My ancestors, my fathers, my great-grandfathers left hectares of land. However, because my own fathers, they subscribe to the Judeo-Christian philosophy. All of a sudden, they were not interested in what their ancestors left behind. So they are poor, they are alone, they are old and alone. And then they are still in foreign land. They can't even go home because foreigners are taking over the resources that their ancestors left them. However, the reason for that is because their focus was in heaven. They want to make heaven. And that is why they are totally earthly useless. So, and that is the reality confronting all of us. So our spiritual, I'm brought here to let us know that our spirituality is the way forward. Now, okay, let me just jump to the metric that has to do with religion. So the religious matrix, I tag that, cathedralism and the colonization spirit. Religion was meant to reconnect humanity with Eledumare, the supreme universal consciousness, the living source within all things. The word is not religion because we don't know what that is in Africa. However, they came with a philosophy that separates things from each other. To us, life is whole, life is complete.
Yep.
So I was on a platform today and they were asking me about money. I said, sorry, the way we see money is that it's our right, it's our inheritance. We don't struggle for it. We are hardworking, so we have to. We give value. We live a purposeful life. Now, someone like Egbon Oladele Dosumu, because of that name, it is very, very sure that he's going to flourish if he's in the area where he's impacting knowledge, because his ancestral memory that we are able to deduce from his name, Dosumu, his great ancestors were Babalawo, fathers of secrets. So, and because of that DNA, he will do so well as a Babalawo if he chooses to follow that route. He's going to do so well as a teacher. He's going to do so well as a philosopher. He's going to do so well as a thinker. And, Egmont is already doing so well. And, it's not because the world has changed. We are no more living in, a lot has changed. There was no airplane when Ifa came as an inspiration. And the prophet, just as, Muslims talk about Muhammad and Christians talk about Jesus. However, the personality that came with the philosophy and the DNA and the medicine of Ifa is called Orumila. He's custodian of that Ifa. And Ifa, again, is medicine. Not limited to that. Ifa is spirituality. Not limited to that. Ifa is mathematics, because you have to be able to understand the mathematics of Ifa before you can interpret the message of Ifa. So religion was meant, I've said that, but when religion becomes cathedralism, which is another variant of capitalism, so they felt that, okay, we have already dominated them, business-wise. So how do we control that thing that is making them stubborn? And that is our spirituality. Because if you are living by the consciousness of African spirituality, you cannot be easily controlled. You can't be easily deceived. You see through the lies. You see through the matrix. So cathedralism is the industrialization of spirituality, the conversion of divine encounter into institutional power. It builds systems that demand worship but suppress awakening. Oh no, you have to worship God and worship Him alone. You cannot question anything. Just do it as you're told. And when they tell our people to go and be eating grass, they eat grass. When they tell our people that the last money in your bank account, withdraw it, you don't question it. It is God that is demanding for it. And you just have to give it. And that our poverty is increasing as a nation. Our poverty is increasing as individuals. And we think a God is somewhere that loves our stupidity. No, in Ifa, wisdom is treasure, not stupidity. You have to be able to question things. The Yoruba says, "Omo to ba ma je asamu, kekere lo ti ma jẹnu shamu shamu." So, so that is our reality right here. So just as capitalism transforms human creativity into economic machinery, cathedralism transforms spiritual awakening into, ecclesiastical hierarchy. So, oh no, your bishops are superior to you. Your bishops are like, you even call them my father in the Lord. And some position themselves as God. That, for instance, Adeboye of Redeem, his members believe him so much that even the Christ they are reading, the Christ they are proclaiming, if that Christ appeared to them, they will tell Christ to go and sit down, because their father in the Lord has been changed, has become God to them. Now, in African spirituality, it's not like that. African spirituality gives you your own power, teaches you respect. I do not have choice. It is a taboo for me to address Egmo Oladele Dosumu as just by his name. Calling him Dele Alpha now is a taboo. According to our tradition, I'm actually cursing myself for doing that, because the people coming behind me, the way I have disrespected him, I will be disrespected as well. Yeah, so that is our ancestral treasure. However, westernization has reprogrammed all of us that, oh no, just call everybody by their first name. That's okay. And that is why you see a great uncle raping, defiling. There are little girls, a little girl that came for holiday because you guys call yourself by names. Somebody cannot be calling you daddy, 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 and you are in your right senses, and you think you're approaching that person to defile her. No. However, because respect has been taken away, and of course they have to break us as a people. They have to destroy us as a people. And that is why you see that even everyone is living in America, everyone is living in Europe. However, you are not treated the same way because they see you as black. That is what they call you. And they call some people white. And those guys are enjoying some privileges that black people do not have access to. How do you feel, my fellow Alkebulans, when you see a white cop standing before you while you are driving a car that you bought with your hard-earned money? No matter how educated you are, you will have to be patient because you really don't know. And the will of justice is always working to defend white cops. However, the justice system is designed to oppress people that look like me. And we are not interrogating our people who are busy going to church Sunday for hours, and they return back there on Monday, and they return back there on Thursday, thinking that a God is coming to save them. Nobody is coming to save you, Alkebulan. Nobody is coming to save you. You've got to save yourself. And going back to the 256 signature of Ifa, now, if myself and Egon, we entered Igbodu, that is the place where people are initiated into Ifa. We enter the place. I am too sure that we are never going to be given birth to, we are never going to have come out with the same Ifa signature. And because we are not the same, we don't worship people here. As an individual, you know who you are. You are a son of a king. Yes, you have Egbon. Egbon too is another individual that needs to be respected. So we love respect here. We nurture respect. However, because politics and religion, they work hand in hand. So the way it works is that the government, they watch our people go to church on Sunday, and they say, don't worry, they will be taught. We've called the GOs. We have them under our control. And the GOs will teach our people patience. Oh, love the people, respect the people, pray for people in authority, because they are representing God. And our people, they are conditioned in that diabolic philosophy. And after the service, they are released for the politicians that, yes, we've trained them very well. Now they can go to the spirit. And they return back on Sunday again to be conditioned. And, the loops continue. And we are not questioning things. We want to get it right politically. We are never going to get it right politically, because one of the treasure that was given to us is hidden in our spirituality. We have our own as Yoruba, the Kenyans have their own, the Ghanaians have their own, and we have this divination system that was designed for our own benefit. However, instead of subscribing to that, we subscribe to the ones that deprive us of our existence. And now, when you go to church, they ask you, surrender your soul to God. Surrender your soul. And there are a lot of songs that are wrapped around surrendering your soul. And what are the elements in your soul? Your will, your emotion, and your intellect. So when you get to church and they tell you surrender your soul to the Lord, and you have surrendered everything, you have left everything in church. You have left your will, your soul, your intellect, and your emotion. So our people are empty. So that is why you really don't expect any logical, when you engage our Christian brothers and Muslim brothers and sisters in conversation, they are very brilliant when it comes to analyzing politics. But when it comes to talking about, look at Africa, look at your wealth as a people, they cannot see. They are telling you, Bible says, Bible says. That book was written to condition you, to strip you naked. They are busy in our jungles, taking our treasure, taking our resources, yet we are clinging onto the Bible, thinking a Messiah is coming to save our people. That Messiah is not coming. Now Trump is pressurizing our people in Nigeria, pressurizing our government. Of course, they have not been doing well too. We know that. However, there are other ways to do that. Not, through Twitter and all that. There are other ways to put pressure on each other that we need this, to be shaped. However, the sad reality is that even Trump himself says that US aid is one of the sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria. So the US sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria, that same US pressuring Nigerian government to fight against terrorism that they created. And our people are busy analyzing and they are talking around that. And as long as we are away from our ancestral memory, oh yes, we will be the most celebrated professor in Harvard and in Cambridge. However, as long as the Bible is still, you are seeing the word through the Bible, oh, you are not there yet. Because that book was not written to liberate you. That book was written to impress you, dear brothers and sisters. So let me quickly move on to media. How is media being used as a matrix to, of course, media has no life. And this matrix, they are in two phases. One is so subtle, believe, you just believe, and the other one is so practical, physical. So, and the reason why the first layer is philosophical. So people can come and debate politics and debate everything. However, so they are debating policies to create their own reality. We create, oh yeah, this is how it should be. A very, very bad government. You still see some educated people saying, no, they are doing their best. If they are doing their best, it shouldn't be through media, it shouldn't be through book. We should see it in marketplace. However, the Bible already says, pray for the people that are leading you. Pray for your leaders, and that the Lord should keep using them, that the Lord should keep leading them. However, they keep doing that, and we expect a change. There is no pressure. Now, Lagos State government just told a major activist, one of the leading activists in Nigeria, Showore, that he's been declared wanted, that he shouldn't lead protests, that in fact I think the order is shoot at sight.
Yeah.
People want to protest against bad governance. And they are saying, no, you cannot protest. And of course, the Christians will say, no. The earth is not our home is heaven. So we don't really need to get ourselves bothered with what is going on right here. However, African spirituality provides us the way out to all these messes that we are in. This matrix that we've been designed, that has been designed to control the way we see life. African spirituality provides a way out. And one of the ways is that, what they call Holy Spirit this is amazing. The Christians refer to an element as Holy Spirit. And every Sunday they go to church to invite that Holy Spirit to them. However, according to our ancestral knowledge, our ancestral wisdom, your Ori is that, if there is anything called Holy Spirit, that is your Ori, your supreme self. It is inside you. You are the Holy Spirit. You embody everything. Nothing is outside you. You are an embodiment of everything. And that is our ancestral wisdom. So we take accountability about life. So who I marry, I'm accountable to. I'm not saying, oh, the will of God. Who is God choosing for me? Whoever God wants me to marry, that is who I will marry. No, you have brain. That is why the supreme mind gave you brain to think, so you can think. However, you see how on the increased divorces, yes, even pastors are divorced. Like the one of them that's that they love so much here in Nigeria, the Christ Embassy guy, divorced his wife. Yeah, divorced his wife, and yet people are in that church thinking that God will give them great home, when your pastors don't even have any reason to keep his own. African spirituality gave to us that accountability, that you are accountable to yourself, you are accountable to your Ori. So it is within your responsibility to go to a father of secrets, someone that has submitted himself to understanding this secret and get information that has to do with your egg, with your higher self, with you. And then Ifa will reveal everything. And not just Ifa, I'm talking about Ifa because I'm a custodian of that knowledge. I'm one of the custodians of that knowledge. So there is Afa that Ghanaian people, practice. There is Afa, that the Igbo, our Igbo cousins are practicing. So we all have our spirituality. And we are never going to advance as a people. We are never going to win as a people as long as we are saying the God of Abraham is your God. The God of Abraham doesn't know you. Christ doesn't know you. That Bible is not written for you. Exodus was removed from Bible from the book during the transatlantic slavery. Exodus was removed, part of Isaiah was removed, and Revelation was removed because they wanted they do not want the slaves to be aware of what happened in Exodus, that a people were enslaved for over 400 years, and during Exodus, they left that state. And Isaiah, a part of Isaiah that says, oh, the Spirit of God is upon me, He has anointed me to preach salvation, they removed those parts. And Revelation, the judgment of their God against the wicked, they removed those parts. And then the people were reading, the slaves were reading it, and they were so passionate.
It's called the slave Bible.
The slave Bible, absolutely, sir. Thanks for that. So now that was the reality, and even the ones we are carrying, the person that determined the interpretation is your pastor. Christians dare not go to their pastor and tell the pastor that, oh, sir, the Holy Spirit told me not to come to this church again. Now, back then in Ogun State, I was attending a certain church, and that's very early in the morning. The pastor was prepping the officials, and he said, if the Holy Spirit tells you not to come to church, tell the Holy Spirit that I, your pastor, told you to come to church.
Wow.
Control. Oh, the pastor, yes, control. And that brother is in Canada now, controlling the white and all kinds of people. However, we have to break through, sisters and brothers. Ours is an inheritance of completion. Everything about us was complete. There was no distance between spirituality, medicine, great home, great health. There was no distance. And our ancestral memory guarantees us all that. If only we are willing to throw away that Bible and to adopt, to accept the way of our ancestors. You see, we are so educated, so we believe, and so we think. However, our ancestors that we think are not educated, they were able to acquire properties, landed properties. And as educated as we are, how many landed properties do we have?
We're stuck in the matrix. Genius.
Yes. So we have to break free from all these, matrix. There has to be a revelation, and it has to start with each of us. So if I wake up like the principle of Ubuntu, you are because I am. So if I wake up, then over time, I don't need to frustrate others. Over time, they will see through my shining, they will see through my evolution and come to the light of this ancestral wisdom. So let me conclude so I can allow you to ask me questions. Our ancestors left us huge treasure in Ifa, in Orisa, and in our spirituality. And it is good we start waking up, because we are sleeping. We are sleeping. Africa is never going to Alkebulan. Africa is never going we are never going to emancipate as a people as long as we hate our ancestors. If we hate our ancestors with such passion, if you hate their ways, we are never going to evolve. These guys will keep farming on our destiny, because if you are living within your ancestral memory, you cannot be controlled. You will see through the matrix, because you start seeing yourself as an individual, and you won't need any Christ to come to your aid, because you are even more noble than their Christ. You are far more noble. Your assignment is clear. That is, we call Isheche. That is, the umbrella that is over all that we practice as spirituality, Isheche. That has two words, Ishe, Shishe. There is work to do, which already declares to all of us that you are here on assignment. So my assignment is not to sing. Somebody is singing in choir, and you're asking that person that, what is your life assignment? And the person is saying, my assignment is to sing in choir. Your assignment, your purpose is to sing in a choir.
Singing a lie.
Yes. Your purpose is to be an usher in a church. Don't you? The world is so massive. We all have a place there. That is what we know. That is the inheritance we've been given by our ancestors. We have a place here. Then we should tell the Francis I of France that, sorry, this place is your inheritance. And if that Pope come back to life, we should tell him that it is not within your right to award the piece of real estate that our ancestors gave to us to those that are your favorites. And we are never going to assume that position of consciousness as long as we are still wearing this suit and tie, and because you can wear the best suit, you think you are the smartest in the room because you can speak English. And those that cannot speak English, they are illiterate to us. And that is how we've been conditioned. English is just a language. As long as a white man cannot speak Yoruba, then it's not within my own right to be able to speak English. So, however, we must communicate in English now so we can understand ourselves. However, being able to speak English is not a validation or test of intelligence. And that is how we see people that cannot express themselves very well in English. We see them as uneducated. Even the person is a father of secrecy, Babalawu. The people that invented the food that saved our ancestors from contracting cancer and all kinds of terminal diseases. Those people that created those food, we think of them as illiterate. And yet, we have studied in all the best universities in the world, and we are not yet able to create any food. There is a state in West Africa.
Because we're not asking questions, bro. Finish off.
Okay. Let me quickly conclude. There is a state in West Africa, Ibadan, one of the largest states in West Africa. There will never be leadership tussle in Ibadan.
Oh, yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Because of the leadership system that the ancestors created. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And you think those people that created that system are illiterate? Your ancestors are far more brilliant.
You know what? I was actually in Ibadan. I was in Ibadan this year with my wife, and basically I went to the Olubadan's palace actually before the one. Before, I know they just passed away. The last one before the new one, and they basically went through that system with me. They explained what you just said. They explained to me that there's never going to be a tussle because the system is set in place. Yeah,
never.
Absolutely
and
brilliant.
You think those people are uneducated?
Yeah.
And not just that, we have someone who was telling us the other day that we don't have any systems. We need to look and see the white man's systems that they've created and use them.
Oh, so you see that? I'm sorry. So we've been given treasure by our ancestors. So we need to start researching. We need to start researching our language. We think we understand our ancestors, but we have been uprooted. So we need to start discovering. We need to start interrogating. We need to start researching into the genius of our ancestors, the people that were able to create such Ibadan, such nation as Ibadan, the people that were able to put a place like Ondo State, and we can still speak our language. We can still appear like this because we have a DNA that refused to die. They tried to kill us, they tried to remove us, but we refuse to die. And that is why in drones, people are coming back to us. You know, the people in the Caribbean, They are coming back to source to get initiated, to understand their spiritual inheritance. And that is a major key to our emancipation as a people. As long as we stay with Islam, Islam is an instrument, is a political instrument. As long as we stay with Christianity, that is another political instrument to condition the people to look away from what belongs to them. And they keep looking at what is not theirs. And they always, system has a way of rewarding the people that are committed to keeping the system. So our politicians, your bishops, they are being compensated by the system. So we need to wake up and say no, no more. Let me stop there.
Okay, thank you, my brother. Let's yeah, thanks for that. My first question for you, and this basically something I hear all the time. You know, I even hear from diasporans, miseducated Africans say this all the time, and they always say, so if your African spirituality is so powerful, why did they not save the European conquest? I hear a lot of them say this all the time. Why, if African spirituality is so powerful, why didn't we stop the Europeans from conquering Africans on our soil? What do you say to that?
Oh yeah, we are so powerful. That is why we still exist. There are people that have gone on extinction. There are races that have gone on extinction. There are languages that are no more existing. Anyone that is educated enough, informed enough, will know that there are languages that are no more in existence. So that Yoruba still exists today means we were not fully conquered. Now, what do you do in your children? Now, I wrote a script. Well, the title is not coming to me now. However, what do you do if a visitor comes to your house and the visitor offers your children a lot of candy and goodies, and your children, you know, buying the interest of your children, and over time that visitor foreigner was able to do that, and the foreigner peacefully encourage you that, oh, allow your children come to my place, so we can teach them our language, and they persuade your children or they persuade your family, and you feel okay, no problem, just assure me that nothing bad will happen to my children, and you guys the compromise, and then you travel with this white man, learn the white man way. Now your children coming back. What happened is that if it appears as though we have been conquered, no, we were not conquered by white men. We were conquered by our own. If it appears that as though we have been conquered as a people, the people that are doing the job, they are not in white skin. They are that look like us because they've been trained in the ways, they've been conditioned, they've been programmed to carry out a certain assignment for their patrons. So the white man, you see, Catholic first came in 14th century to Benin, and the people of Benin fought. They revolted, and they ran back to Portugal where they came.
Yep.
And then 100 years after, they returned. Now with better strategies, they've done their research. Now the Anglican came in 1842, Methodist came into Nigeria in 1842, and the Baptist came in 1850, and then Catholic returned after 14th century. Catholic returned back in 400 years apart. And you think your ancestors didn't fight? No, your ancestors won the invaders, only that they could not fight their own. So the mistakes our ancestors made was to release their children to go and learn the way of.
Ooh.
I was gonna say, Oladele, also we were defeated because we were detached from, because we abandoned our way. That's why we were defeated. Because if we hadn't abandoned our way, and for those who did not abandon their way, for example, the Mau Mau, the Kenya Land and Freedom Army, they won.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten what they were fighting for, but because of the pressure that the Mau Mau gave the British is why Kenya was physically released from that control. But again, if we are going to abandon who we are, of course we're going to be taken over.
And you know what he's saying there is basically, and he's going to where you're going. It's basically once you lose yourself, we lost the connection.
Yes,
we lost
how
the
can you
connection.
defend
We lost the
yourself?
connection. And once you lose your connection, and this was is a deliberate ploy by these people. They knew how powerful we are with our connection to our spirituality. So they had to find a way. And they got us. Because like he said, they went and came back. Initially, they could not defeat us. So then they had to go develop the gun, which basically overwhelmed us eventually. Because they tried so many ways and they couldn't win. So they had to go develop a firepower, the bomb, to do what they had to do. So our ancestors did fight. And a lot of people say this, why didn't they fight? But they did fight. The sad thing is like the story of African wins is never shared. Because the story always glorifies the hunter, not the lion. So yeah, we're just waiting for our brother to come back. Unduku, you wanna what do you want to add anything to that?
For me, wow. and when I look forward to our brother joining. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. I look forward to our brother joining us because returning. The question now is for those of us, those in the community who seek to, if they choose Ifa or whatever other African spirituality path that they choose, and it has to reside with you. So it's this. I'm not even going to go there. So. How can they get back is the word, right? Is the question that we're going to ask so that he can guide them. For me, it has to start with rejecting what is not yours. It has to start there. Like today, immediately reject. Even if you don't know what you're taking on after, just reject this thing that is not you. Reject, completely reject. And this is why I'm not everyone's, I don't like this saying cup of tea. I'm not supposed to be your cup of tea. We're talking about being detached from who we are. I'm miles ahead in returning to who I am. And I'm telling you what the problem is. So it's not going to land pleasantly in your ear. You're comfortable in this detachment and me telling you that it's like I'm whispering in your ear. Imagine a spirit world and I'm saying to you, you're in a different return. And you've been luxuriating in this different existence, going to church every Sunday, giving. There was something I noted here when the brother thing. There's many things I want to ask when he comes.
Yeah.
This Church of God is another one. That it.
You said it's a net.
Christianity is not logical. It's we go along with it.
Yeah, he basically said there's a network problem. So yeah, I'm talking to him now. He's coming back.
Yeah. So this whole idea of chosen people, and Africans defend, right? Africans defend Israelites are the chosen people of God.
Of course they do, because they are indoctrinated.
And so the thing that I'm saying that's illogical is that African is not going to stop and pause and say, I just said I'm not chosen.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to pray to that God who hasn't chosen me.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about in terms of we just lost our senses, basically. We don't even want to think. Even though we're supposedly meant to be smart people.
We committed suicide to our mental, we have committed the suicide of our intellect.
What do you use that word? What's the word you called? Yeah, the suicide thing.
Menticide. And I'm trying not to use the word menticide. Yeah, menticide. Yeah. But we have literally allowed them to kill who we are.
Okay, he's back. Okay, welcome back, bro.
Oh,
okay.
The network has been. I'm actually from network to network because both network I have here, they are just messing up.
Okay.
So
Don't
we were
worry,
not.
it's the
We
same
were.
thing in the United States.
So we were never conquered by the white men.
Go on.
No, our own people were used against us. And what do you do to your children when they are trying to thrive? Do you kill your children? We were able to fight the white men. That was why Catholic was not able to establish their dominance in 16th century when they first came. They were chased away by the people. So white men never conquered us. We conquered ourselves.
Wow.
So what do the GOs in Nigeria look like? None of them is white. They are like us. The people telling us that, oh no,
Wow.
there is no hope here on earth. The only hope you have is heaven. What do they look like? They look like you. They look like us. The people farming the earth on behalf of the white men, what do they look like? They look like us. So the white men never conquered us. As a matter of fact, they are still intimidated by your color. They are still intimidated by people that look like you. Look at it, the people that are creating the new world to tell you that we were never conquered. Tell me the music that is raving everywhere now is our music, the Afrobeats. The ancestors were never conquered. And look at the people that are singing in their churches. They sing like the Americans. And that is why their music is locked up in that tone. But you see the people representing their ancestral energy. They are harvesting the world. Everybody is having them, the Davido of this world, the Burna Boy of this world. They are having them in their playlist. Those are the people living by the spirit of their ancestors. So we were never conquered by the whites. Our own people were used against us, and we were able to fight those invaders. But how do we fight our own people? That is the reason why it looks as though, the white, no, they never conquered us. They never conquered us.
Okay, Nduku, before you go, Nduku, so I'm going to ask you that question because this is the journey we're on right now. We're about decolonizing our minds and awakening the consciousness.
Exactly. Thank you. You're going in the same
journey
direction.
We're on. So, and like you said, we are the gatekeepers and the mission managers for the hegemonic powers.
Absolutely.
So, how do we basically get to the people, or how do we, channel this course of basically doing what we need to do without these gatekeepers? Because these gatekeepers are there and we know they're there, but we need to move forward. We need to do something different. So how do we go that? How do we do this?
Can I expound on that? Can I expound on that? Because it's the same question I was going to ask Oladile. So because, like Oladile is saying, we have learned, as you said, that it was because of our own people that we were conquered, right? But you're asking the question, you're saying basically we could not fight our own people. But have we learned a lesson from it? And how do we need to move differently, as Oladile said? So go on. Thank you.
Oh, yes. You see, you have because I am. Now we met through this virtual platform. We have, the few of us need to start using the same media that they've used to condition our mind. We need to start getting onto those platforms, and we need to be courageous enough to speak up. The worst that can happen has already happened. Look at the situation everywhere. So one of the ways is the media has no life. The media is not the matrix. However, the powerful ones are using the media as a tool to control the people. So in that same way, we, the Alkebulans that are waking up, we need to maximize the energy of that same media. We need to maximize the usefulness of media, and we start speaking up. Now, there are people that they have never had any reason to interrogate the scriptures. But if we are not talking, and as you have said that, we shouldn't apologize for saying the truth. If we are not talking, if we are not speaking up, those people, they are sincerely searching. They know this whole thing is not working. They have given their lives, they have given their resources, and nothing is happening. Every Sunday they read to them, bring all your tithes unto the house of the Lord, and he will open the windows of heaven. And no window is being opened. They are still poor. They know something is wrong. And the rest of us that are waking up, because the waking up is going to be gradual, and the ancestors, they are the ones returning back. We believe that the ancestors are back because we believe in reincarnation. The ancestors are back, and they are harvesting the souls of their children. They are coming back. They are already here on earth, and they are waking people up. So we are awake. You are awake, and our duty is to start speaking up so we can wake up others that are still sleeping. And how do we do that? We start talking about things we are sure of. We start talking convincingly about that's the devastation they have caused on our land and our people. People at first will not listen to us, but if we are farmed enough, then we start attracting their attention, and over time they will start. So I believe media is an instrument that we need to use substantially, not to promote what they are deliberately. You see, the TikTok in Nigeria, for instance, is not the same TikTok in UK. It's not the same TikTok in Singapore. It's not the same in America. So the algorithm of this TikTok in Nigeria and the rest of the Africa is designed to keep distracting the people. So you have a lot of nudity, you have a lot of things that do not make much sense flying about. So we need to intentionally maximize the power of media. Media is there to be used as a tool, and they've used it. Obafemi Awolowo is the owner of Tribune, Nigerian Tribune, a newspaper. Abiola is the owner of Concord. Tinubu is the owner of The Nation. So these guys are using media as a tool to control people. So we too, as we are waking up, gradually, we should start waking up others. And how do we do that? Through this same media. For a very long time, I stay away from Facebook because when I was a Christian, I was very active on Facebook. But now I'm telling myself that, oh no, because I've been reflecting on the Honorable Maponga, that this man is active. He was a bishop in Seventh-day Adventist, and he's speaking loud everywhere on every platform. So, Pelumi, what is stopping you? Go back to that Facebook and be telling the world your discovery and how this discovery is going to help us as a people to emancipate to whatever we are saying. We are not like this. We are not cowards. We are a powerful people. We understand what life is until they brought us death, the symbol of cross, in the symbol of cross. And our people proudly wear it around themselves. They use it as lapel. They use it. They even put the picture everywhere, the symbol of death replacing the symbol of life. And to those of us that are waking up, we need to let people know that, hey, this is this, this is this. And I'm so glad that everywhere in Africa, people are waking up.
Oh, yeah. It's happening.
Let me stop.
All right, Undergo, well, you got to go on.
I was going to say, does Ifa believe in heaven and hell, and does it believe that it's if certain people do not follow Ifa, they're not going to go to heaven, and everyone must follow Ifa because it's the only path to heaven? Does Ifa tell you how to dress? Does Ifa tell you that as a woman you should sit in the back and you should not? The man you have to be quiet when the man speaks, because the man is the head of the household. Does Ifa what other thing, Oladele? Does Ifa tell you that you must give 10% of your income? That, like, please break it down, brother.
Oh yeah. Now, where I stopped at Ankh, symbol of life, being replaced by the cross, symbol of death. So Ifa is all about, Ifa is just one out of 400 pantheons that we have. Ifa is just one. Let me quickly recite this. Ifa Abatanla ni baba ẹ̀fọ́ wọ̀nyí. Adifa fún ilẹ̀ tí ń sunkún rọmọ bí. Ilẹ̀ was crying. The earth was crying that, oh, he desires to have children. And then Abatanla ni baba ẹ̀fọ́ wọ̀nyí. Adifa fún ilẹ̀ tí ń sunkún rọmọ bí. Ẹ̀bọ̀láwo ni ó ṣe. Wọ́n ní kó rú irunwó ẹmọ́, kó rú irinwó ọmọ òbí, kó rú irinwó atare, kó rú irinwó ọ̀kẹ́ owó, ó rúbọ. Ìgbà tó máa bí ó bí irinwó ọmọ, ó wò wọ́n tán, ó ní ǹjẹ́ òun tún lè bí sí. Wọ́n ní kó rú igba ọmọ òbí, kó rú gba atare, kó rú gba ọ̀kẹ́ owó, kó tún rú gba ẹmọ́, ó tún rúbọ, ó tún bí gba ọmọ. Ó ní ẹgbẹ̀ta yìí ti tó, that is 600 is enough. The earth gave birth to 600 children. Now, ó ní kí irinwó máa túlé ayé ṣe, the 400 should stay on earth. Ifa is just one of those 400. Kí igbá máa lọ rèé tó di ọ̀run ṣe, 200 should go to the realm beyond, where the people call heaven, Odiorun, which is not in the sky, is just another realm to us. So because there is no death in our spirit vocabulary, there is no death in our spirituality. We don't die. I have been living before I was given birth to, and after I'm done existing in this form, I keep living. So there is no death in our spirituality. And then in Batobimo, so now that philosophy is saying that Ile, that is why we call Irumole, Iriwo Omoile, the 400 children of the earth. So Ifa is just one of them. So we have every other energy. So number one, the purpose of Ifa is to point you to your own path so you can be limitlessly rich. Ifa is not after your 10%. No. Ifa doesn't, no. Ifa, the place of Ifa, I mentioned Oya. Oya is another Irumole, is another Orisha. As powerful as ever is the Orisha that controls the energy of the wind, the energy of the atmosphere. And when Oya feels displeased, that is when you have the hurricane and all of those things happening. Shango is our energy of leadership. So now Oya is a lady, Oya is a woman, and Oya happened to be the wife of Shango when they were on this realm. All of these Irumole lived as human when they were here. And after they left, they taught us teachings, they taught us certain ways, their ways, and we are following through what they taught us. So we have Obatala. So the concept of heaven is non-existent to us. Let me use this example, just common sense. My sister, how long were you in your mother's womb? How long were you in your mother's
9 months. They tell me 9
9
months.
Oh, they told you. Were you ever in your mother's womb?
Oh.
Were you ever in your mother's womb?
They told me I was.
Okay.
They told me
Can you remember just one incident that happened within that 9 months? You were there for 9 months, so you should be able to tell us one of the incidents that happened when you were in the womb. You were there for 9 months.
I was going to get silly and start saying I was swimming. But let me get serious. No, I cannot.
You cannot remember anything. So what makes you feel that you were in a place for 9 months? That was your reality. You were very real within the womb. You were very real. You were eating. You were moving. You exhibited everything that is a human should exhibit. And then after 9 months, you were birthed into this realm. And you can't even remember anything that happened within the 9 months. So when you leave this space, what makes you feel you will remember anything that happens right here? If you cannot remember, now before that 9 months, you should not forget. My sister, if your dad died when he was 5 years old, do you think that 9 months would have become a reality for you?
Damn, man, you are testing my brain.
If your father died when he was 5 years old, 7 years old.
Oh, I see now. Now I see. Okay. Oh, no. Another father would have been the father.
Now, another father wouldn't have been able to give birth to this you that we are seeing. Now, a part of you was in your father.
Now, here's where I ask you the question. I exist as I am in spirit, so the only thing that would be different is my physical appearance.
Absolutely. Yes, that is
so
very
maybe
correct.
The same spirit would have given birth to me, but in a different appearance.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Now, can you remember when your dad was in primary school, when he was doing all the job, when he was studying, when he was moving about? Can you remember any moments while you were in him before he met your mother? Of course, you existed in him and you existed in your mother. You don't have those memories. You existed for 9 months. You don't have those memories. Now you are existing now. What makes you feel when you leave this realm, you will have any memory of what happened there? However, the people that control us, yes, the people that are controlling us, they would have us believe that, oh, there is an heaven and whatever you do here, you will be rewarded. Oh, no. Now, according to the only sin The only thing is that our ancestors, according to the wisdom of Ifa, the only things you are required to do is to work in your purpose. And that is why we call Ifa Eleri Ipin. Eleri means witness. Ipin is destiny. Now, before you came, you said something very profound. You just said something very profound. You said it may not be this container, but the spirit would have existed through another container, through another body. Now, that spirit shows something. There was a contract between you and some other element before coming to this realm, according to Ifa cosmology. You told them that, okay, when I get to the earth, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing this. Now, the only error we are committing in the lens of Ifa is you not conforming to your Ipin, to your destiny. So there is no hell, there is no heaven. All that we have is abundance. All that we have is abundance. All that we have is abundance. So enjoy life. If you can manage one wife effectively, enjoy it. If you can manage 10 wives and effectively, after all, the number of women on earth are far more than the number of men. And if all men are to marry one, there will be women that will remain, that will keep saying, no, they want. So some men need to do more than one. So as long as you can manage it, then go ahead, live
I don't
abundant life.
think men can manage 10 women, but okay.
Oh yes,
Let me mute.
oh yes. Some of us can manage. Not everybody can manage. But some of us have been able to manage that part very, very well, effectively. So now my point is that there is no heaven, there is no tithes. It is the only exchange, because life is an exchange. There is obi, kola nut, water, and spirit. So we use it to make appeasements to your ori. You have to always be in alignment with your ori. Always be in alignment with. If you are always in alignment with your ori, you can never encounter any accidents. Nothing can move you. You will always enjoy the fullness of life if you are always in alignment with your higher self, what we call ori here. So we don't go to a place every week to go and be dropping tithes. No. In fact, there was something, I did divination for a woman in America, and during the divination, many a times we will be asked to make offering. And then when I was asking what offering should this woman make, I asked, should she appease her ori? Ifa says no. Oh, okay. Should she appease Ifa? Ifa says no. What exactly should she do? Ifa says she should just listen and obey the instruction. And what is the instruction? She should never share her next move with anybody. This woman has been out of job for months, and she only needed that direction. Number one, I did the divination for her because she's been out of job for a very long time. I couldn't charge her for consultation, so the consultation was free. And then, when it comes to offering, Babalawo usually used to gain, whatever will help them survive with their own family. That is where they make their own part of it by the time they charge their clients this. At that point, Ifa told me that there is no sacrifice that she should make, that she should just listen. And when I told her that, and she hit to that, in the space of 2 months, she had to pick from 4 jobs that came to her. Whereas she's been away, she's been out of job. Nobody wanted to employ her for several months. Another case, there was this uncle. He's been in the US he went to US for scholarship when he was 20 years old. Now he's 65. So for over 45 years, he's been in the US. Then he's SS. So he felt sick and he couldn't heal himself again. They had to back him to toilet. He had to be on wheelchair because he couldn't move. He lost his mobility completely. And then he consulted us. And then we did divination that, Ifa says this person that is sick, when he was coming to the earth, is actually, according to the agreement between his head and Ifa, is supposed to align himself with Ifa. He's a son of Ifa, just as Egmodo Sumutu. By his name, we shall know them. So, and then we did Ishefa,
You said
which is a form of pre-initiation.
yeah, quickly. I'm not going to let this one slide. I'm sorry. You said men can manage, right? Men can manage. What if we looked at it as men can serve? Because this business of managing women when we are the life givers is quite something to me. It doesn't sit well with me. So what if we looked
Okay.
at it as, can you as a man serve fully and with fulfillment, serve 10 women?
10 women, I can't say. Um, However, I am driven by purpose. I will not get involved with any woman that has not discovered her purpose, first of all. And to those that have discovered their purpose, I will not get myself, I will not talk about relationship with anyone that is yet to start working in the consciousness of our purpose. And then our purpose must complement each other. Then we will be able to serve, using your word, serve each other better. For instance, I'm in Nigeria. I'm doing so much in Nigeria already. Then I have to go to Kenya. And then there is this beautiful lady in Kenya that is living for purpose, and we are drawn to each other. Or Zimbabwe, or any other part, Liberia, we are drawn to each other. And then my wife, because of now, this is another uniqueness with Ifa. There are men that are allowed to have more than one wife, and there are men that are forbidden from having more than one wife. There are some men that they only must marry one wife. It has to do with destiny. And that is why we call Ifa Elerifmi. Ifa is the witness to your destiny. When you were choosing your destiny, Ifa was there, according to our cosmology. Then Ifa knows those that can manage only one. And Ifa knows those that can manage only two. Now, someone like us, someone like me, for instance, I am forbidden, I was told never to do odd numbers. 3, 5, 7, odd numbers is anti my own destiny. So it has to be even numbers. So now the point is that for us to really be able to serve each other very well, our purpose must align. We must be able to respect ourselves. There is no, we are, someone like us, someone like me, I'm not moved by emotion. That, oh yeah, all of these things, I'm not moved by, oh no, we love each other. No. Purpose, we must be able to stay committed, whether we feel like it or not. We have to stay committed to serving each other's purpose. So there are men, not many, because whoever is not able to lead himself cannot lead another person's child.
Say that.
Whoever
Say
is
that
not
one
so,
more. Say that one more time. Say that one more time. There are
whoever
people who missed it in the back. Please.
whoever is not able to lead himself aright cannot lead another person's child. So the leadership starts with me. How effective am I at leading myself? And then if I can lead myself right, then we won't even struggle. People like those that are destined to walk that path, they will never pressure any woman that you must marry me. No, they are just going to be drawn to each other naturally, and they respect each other and they serve each other purpose. And then life goes on. Our fathers, our ancestors did it, and they were able to create kingdoms. What we are missing is we are not interrogating the principle they applied, and the principle they applied is the principle of leadership. So they were able to lead themselves, they understand themselves. So they were not marrying for emotional purposes, they were marrying for instance, I have to leave from Nigeria to Kenya, and after getting to Kenya, I did a lot of great work there. And the people in Kenya say, Pelumi, you cannot return back to Nigeria like this. So let's give you this girl to marry. So all of this, your investment, all of this, your empire, all of this, your farmland that you have in Kenya, somebody will be there to keep managing them. So while you return back to Nigeria, so our ancestors were able to sustain their wealth created all around. So they were able to sustain their kingdoms because they got into marriage with purpose, in purpose, not emotion, not romance, not those things. So purpose, and they are committed to making things work, protecting their domain, protecting their families, and using your word, that's a very beautiful word. Serving each other's purpose. So because she should not only be interested in what I'm doing, I have to be interested in what she's doing, and her success and her continuous progress must be my priority. So a man that wants to go on that journey, oh, must have been able to lead himself aright, understands his own head, his own emotion. Oh yes.
Great wisdom. I mean, great wisdom. I love what you're saying, man. You're speaking to my ears for people who are listening. So if you can't manage, don't do it. Don't because your grandfathers did it, you're gonna do it. And if you cannot manage it in 2025, don't even bother.
You cannot serve if you cannot serve
Yes.
a woman's purpose.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Oh yeah. For instance,
rounding up.
Can I quickly add this?
Yeah.
Please permit me to quickly add this. There is this person's we've been talking, and if everything works as we both desire, then we are going to consummate everything. However, she needs to be healed from a relationship first. Am I patient enough to allow her to see her heal through the past relationship? So I am not moved by how I feel towards her. No, she needs to be healed before stepping into another relationship.
Maturity.
So now, if that relationship is with me, then she has a purpose. Is she willing to walk in the path of her purpose? Because if she is not there, I will not be there. She's even going to distract me. So we don't babysit each other because we are adults. So I shouldn't be babysitting my wife. No, we are matured enough to embark on this journey. And guess what? Because everything I'm doing, I was transparent enough to let my wife to put her in the loop. She is aware of my signature, my Odu. And if he's saying, okay, for instance, my dad lived with just my mom, and my mom transited into the realm beyond when she was 60. My dad always prided himself in, oh yes, I only had intercourse with your mom. Your mom is the first woman I touched, and all through my life is going to be the woman. Guess what? After my mom transitioned in 2008, my dad is with another woman. Now, so technically, if we are to account for how he lived his life after everything, we are going to say he married 2 wives, not together at the same time, but when one left, he married another one. So if you have capacity to service each other's purpose so well, and you both understand that we are not babies that, okay, you have to be with me. No, we don't have to. We understand our purpose. And men that are driven by their purpose, the purpose is enough. Because when the purpose grows to a point, the purpose will start dragging you around. You won't have the way we lived for, emotion when we were teenagers. We won't be able to do that again. We are more mature and we understand our purpose and we know why we are into this. So it is leadership. Men that are able to lead themselves are right. Men that understand themselves and respect the other person, not because, of the way she looks, she has pointed nose. What has pointed nose has to do with great marriage? Oh, she has straight legs. What is it with great marriage that straight legs as business in? No. Purpose-driven people, their eyes are widely open. They know what they want. And for instance, I will never get into marriage with another woman and creating an impression that she's the only one. I am married. I'm talking about it. This is an international thing. This is internet. I am married. So the whole world is aware that I'm married. My wife is aware because she's aware of my signature. And she knows that the people that were birthed by this signature would have more than one wife. And guess what happened between myself and this other one? I told her that, okay, before we conclude on what we want to do, please go for consultation. And when she went for consultation, Ifa told her that, this man is a good man. No? However, he's not a man that is going to just have, you understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. He is not going to have just, this man would have things to do with women. Well, Some people may not be comfortable with that. But the point is leadership and purpose. And before anyone fits into my purpose, oh, that person must be an extraordinary person. So it is not emotion for me, it is fulfillment of purpose. And that lady too must be on a journey towards fulfilling our purpose so we can serve each other's purpose very well. Let me stop there.
So basically what you said there is in terms of your spirituality, and this is basically for me, because I'm learning from you as well, is that everything needs to align in whatever you do.
Absolutely.
So that means your Ori must align with what you're doing for you to actually manifest
Absolutely.
who our creator
Absolutely.
wants you to be. So and that includes
Absolutely.
your relationships as well, and whoever you
Absolutely.
in connection with.
A quick question. Do they have to align with the Ori of your other wives?
Oh, okay. That's a great question. Now, I told that lady, go for consultation. I am not going to be the one to do the divination for you. Go to your own trusted Babalawo. Let him do the consultation. And as I said, if I told her that this person you are looking at is a good person, however, women will always be around him. Now, our own Oduifa too, our own Oduifa, she is an Iyanifa. And everything just aligns because Tifa Obajoni Kimbini. Tifa Obajoni, if it doesn't resemble you, it will never give birth to you. If there is nothing, we are never going to be drawn to. Yes, we are never going to to each other if there are things that if I'm sorry, I'm being distracted here. A lot of calls are coming in because of my show. So we have to, so it has to answer your question in a simple term. Yes. Yes, because Ifa is a very equipped for me. Even my wife is aware that this person that before we got married, she knew. So nothing that because I got initiated after our wedding. So she knew everything. So the point is, women, they have a place in Ifa and their place is so conspicuous. Without women, there will never be Awu, which is sacred. There will never be Ifa. I am a Babalawo because there are people that we call Iyami. Egmont would understand that. So I am Babalawo. So the answer is yes. Because we are on a path of destiny together. And if that is my own signature and she has found herself in Ifa, that will probably be that. And there are women, to be sincere with you, there are women that they have to do a lot of work to actually keep their marriage according to their signature because of how spiritual they are. So those women, they find it difficult to stay in a man's house because the energy is too much. Their masculine energy is so massive. So there are women like that. So you see them move from marriages to, from relationship to relationship. However, I believe things can be coordinated. That is why we have another principle of Irubo and Etutu, appeasing one's head. I don't know if I've answered the question and if that is clear enough.
I think we're going to leave it where it is.
Yeah. There's a lot to learn. I think we can unpack some other time. You know what, bro? Pelumi, I think we need to come onto your TikTok live. I think what do you think? We can come onto his TikTok live because he does TikTok live every Sunday. So we can go on there and have a conversation. Anyway, guys, it's been almost 1 hour and 50 minutes. Basically, time is fast spent. And I hope that this series has been very, very informative and educational for other people. What my brother is saying in a nutshell is that we need to align with our spirituality to do what's right. Without it, we're lost because a lot of us fit into all these systems, indoctrinations that does not align with our destiny. Islam and Christianity is not African. I say this to people and people argue with me all the time. You have nothing to do. It has nothing to do with you. Okay, But let me, before we go, the question, I have a question from you, from our last guest, because we always get questions from our last guest. And the question is, how would you prepare the next African generation to value themselves more? How would you prepare the next generation of Africans to value themselves more?
Wow, that's a serious one. We have to keep living our truth. This is our truth. This is my truth. This is my reality. So, and they are never going to value themselves by looking outside themselves. They will have to start valuing themselves by looking within themselves, because that is where the savior lies, is within them. It's not outside. So, and by those of us that are already working in this path, we have to model this truth to them. Now, there is another powerful pantheon that we have in Yoruba spirituality. It's called Eshu.
Yeah.
And that is the most powerful.
Yeah.
Is the most powerful.
Sorry, for that.
And guess what?
You know, Eshu is basically what the Westerners basically describe as devil, which has no bearing.
Yes.
Absolutely. They had to find a devil.
Absolutely.
And they created a devil, Eshu and devil. They're basically two different things. Anyway, I'll let Pelumi go.
So what must I do to make you hate your mother? What must I do to make you hate your own ancestors? Then I must be able to devalue every great thing that I must be able to distract you by giving you a shadow and just to disconnect you from the treasure that they gave to you. Years ago, our last born was crying, and a neighbor went to him and said, "Oh, why are you crying?" And the boy, is now a man. He said, well, he's not really happy with the way the parents are dealing with him. And the neighbor told him that, oh, it's because they are not your parents.
Wow.
They are not your parents. And funny, my younger brother believed.
Wow.
He believed. So what must they do to decentralize, to destroy us? They must look for the most noble amongst our pantheons. Who is Eshu? Eshu is the most noble. Eshu, to do Oshuka, something that I don't know if you do that.
Inside someone's head. Something that you use to balance on your head, Oshuka. Yeah.
Yes. Something that surrounds you to favor you. That is Eshu. It surrounds you to favor you. That is Eshu. Eshu is so powerful. But guess what they did through one of us? That was why I said the white man did not conquer us.
Ajayi Crowther.
Yes. The white men did not conquer us. They used Ajayi Crowther as their agents. And because Ajayi looked like us, we believed him. And Ajayi deployed Eshu and presented Eshu to our people as the devil and Satan that the Bible is talking about. And our people started hating Eshu, just as my younger brother started distancing himself from my parents when that neighbor told him that it's because they are not your parents. That is why they are dealing with you that way. So Ajayi Crowther was used as an agent of the West to destroy our spirituality. And he did that by misrepresenting the personality and the splendor of Eshu to the people. And our people started hating Eshu. And our people started hating Egungun. The Egungun are the people we call masquerade. That is the memory of our ancestors. Egungun represents ancestors. So we have a lot of them, and they are positioned for our own good. But what have we done? We hate them, we dislike them, and that is why we are not winning. So we have those of us coming up, those of us waking up, those of us walking in this reality. We must be able to reflect the beauty of this reality to those coming in. I have a mentoring program for those people that are coming back to Isheshe, to African spirituality. And then one of my students, the one that wanted to appreciate me, she felt so excited and she sent me a good sum of money. But before she sent the money, she already told me the problem she's going through. The problem she was going through, she already told me the problem. she was owing a certain guy a huge sum of money. And I asked her, have you paid the person that you are owing? She said no. Now, the Christian influence, oh, just give and it shall be given unto you, the good measure pressed down, shaking together. I said, no, not until you pay your debt. Don't give to me. And guess what I did? I asked for her account number. I added equal sum of what she sent to me, making it ×2. And I sent it to her. That is modeling. So now to someone like that, the way she will perceive a babalawo is from the way I relate with her. So when we start modeling righteously, when we start modeling correctly to those that are coming up, then they will start accepting this. My children, many a times I ask my boys that, do you want to go to church? They said, no, we don't want to go to church. They go to my Ifa shrine and they do their stuff there. My sons are even more of a babalawo, if I can say that, than myself. One is 8 years old. I'm not like the grandpa in the house. One is 8 years old and I'm growing to be there. so one is 8 years old and one is 5 years old, 6 years old. And guess that one that is six years old, I believe is more of a babalawo. He's totally conscious because he's seeing a model. Someone is modeling it. He knows how much I respect his mother. He knows how much I respect the children, because the children, we have the naming system that we call some people Baba Tunde in Yoruba land. Baba has come back.
Yeah,
that is the literal.
My son is Baba Tunde.
Aha. So when you call someone Baba Tunde and you are disrespecting that child, do you know what you are doing to? You are disrespecting your grandfather. So we have a culture of honoring children. We don't maltreat children in our spirituality, in our consciousness. All of this maltreatment that we have, all of this abuse that we have, they were the programming that they brought to us. We honor children, we honor women, we honor life, we honor nature, we honor earth, because everything is spiritual. We honor the tree, we honor rivers, we honor mountains, because they are all spiritual. And many of them have been here before we came here. So they have some information to pass to us if we can listen.
So in a nutshell, what you're saying is value what you have.
Value what you have and consciously and intentionally model what you have. Be courageous enough not to hide. We cannot hide anymore. We're already where we are. We have to start speaking up.
Okay.
So the children, so people like us will never cast aspersion on Gen Z that, oh, look at those Gen Z. No, nothing is wrong with them. It's because the parents are not modeling right next to them. So they are the way they are. Benny. So we have to deliberately and consciously model what's rightness.
Yeah, in today's world, it's bigger than that, though, because of the media and what they're seeing outside of the home. So it's not just the parents.
Absolutely.
Back in the day where we were, there's a lot more going on now that interfere in the structure. But thank you so much for the lessons.
Okay, before you go, Pelumi, can you leave a question for our next guest? A question for you for our next guest, please.
What will be the eventual picture of, or the image of Africa that you have conceived in your spirit? What is the ideal African, ideal Alkebulan land that you have conceived? The government structure, the consciousness of the people, the educational structure, the smallest unit of the society, community, which we call family. So what is that ideal Alkebulan that you have conceived, that you are seeing?
Wow. Thank you very much. Okay, Pelumi, thanks for coming. For people who want to reach you, how can they reach out to you? How can they reach out to you, please? Share your social media handles, please. Okay.
Well, I work under my media organization on TikTok, which is Afrofilm Error Times. Afrofilm Error Times. So just put Pelumi Folarin in your search box. It should give you some feedback, and you already know what I look like.
Yeah.
So just put Pelumi Folarin. Even on Google, it's going to give you all the information on our website. So I function mostly under my organization, not as an individual, but as an organization. So Afrofilm Era Times. So, but in case you do not recollect the name, just Pelumi Folarin, then the machine should be able to give you some information.
Thank you very much. Okay, we should go. I really appreciate you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the wisdom. Thanks for the enlightenment. And we keep doing what we're doing, my brother. So, Kunireo.
Absolutely. Ashe Dumare.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, and on my forgive me, on my TikTok, the Afrofilm Era Times, if anyone is interested in the mentoring is not just about Ifa, it's not just about Orisha, African spirituality, as a whole. Yeah. So they can sign in, they can, when they click the bio, it will take them to our website so they can read more about the program, so we can guide ourselves right.
So you got a student here, that I'm coming. Mambo.
Thank you.
Okay. I share. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.